So good. So if we move on, so the sales is one of a series of 6 workshops that I do. I do them every other week, and they repeat every 3 months. So this one will repeat in 3 months' time. They're all on YouTube, my YouTube channel. So again, if you want to sort of watch a recording, please do. But you do get a lot more when you do come to them live, because I say it's the interaction, the questions that you ask that really help move it forwards. So I did ask you sort of, to think about before about what you wanted to get from sales. So, if I just go around, for each of you and just say, is there a specific thing on sales that you want, or is it just a sort of a general overview that you're looking for? So, Sam, what would be your number one thing to have left today with?
I'm assuming you mean me, isn't like because both
Yeah,
Sam's.
sorry, Sam, top Sam.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't say there's anything specific, obviously, because I'm new to it. I want to learn it like generally. I know like stuff from when I learn about it, like in business before, but I haven't actually obviously put it into practice. Only working in schools, but I've never actually sold something myself. So it's just learning about it really and how it works and what's the process and stuff.
Okay, cool. Sam, number 2.
Yeah, I'd agree with Sam as well. I'm pretty new to all this, so a good overview is sort of what I'm after to start with.
Good. Fiona?
I was interested, as it's with sort of the psychology of sales, sort of the psychological side of it, and sort of reading my customers' needs better, but
Great.
Of incognito,
Yep, without them knowing. So
yeah.
that's it. Yeah, we'll cover plenty on that.
Yeah.
Becky?
Yeah, I'd agree with everyone there, but also my company's big focus on client relationships, and they always have like returning clients and building up through courses. So I guess the psychology of it again, and how to develop long-term relationships or anything to do with that.
Yeah. Perfect. So I suppose the first question to ask you is, what is sales? So we want to get better at sales, but what is actually sales? What is it all about? What is the game of sales that we're going to learn how to play? So Fiona, what is sales for you?
Well, it's providing customers with what they need, reading what they need, and generally bringing money in, but not making it feel like that's just what you're after, that you're being, helping people.
Okay. Yeah.
But benefiting from it.
So benefiting the clients, so making them feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But like also benefiting the company.
And benefiting the company as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Becky?
Yeah, so like client satisfaction. So as if you've got clear comms from the beginning, I think it's all about clarity. Like, for example, we had problems today, your website sucks, or whatever, something like that, or I had problems. It's being able to give them all the details they want, making sure they go away satisfied, and then which will lead to them booking onto a course, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Good. Sam? It's all about Sam number 2. So what's your second name, Sam?
Rogers.
Sam Rogers. Okay.
Yeah.
Sam Rogers.
Yeah, so I'd say sales is delivering genuine value via either a good or a service to a customer.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. So
obviously in return for
for compensation.
Yeah.
And Sam Lee, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, based on a lot of what everyone else said, but I think selling something to someone based on what their needs are. So that's how I would sum it up.
Okay, I mean, the key to this is sales as a whole is quite a wide spread thing. There's multiple facets of it, and so the first thing we need to understand is how to break it down into its component parts. Okay, because sales isn't just one thing, and the easiest way to look at this is we call it the 5 ways. So how we break down the game of business. So for every business, is there to make a profit. I mean, that's how businesses survive. That's how they make money. That's how they get to pay your wages. And the ultimate aim of business is to continue to grow to increase its profitability. So it's a bit like, what is the purpose of tennis? It's to score as many points and beat the opposition. Same with football, to score more goals than the opponents. So the goal overall is fairly clear and concise. We're there to generate a profit within a business. But we need to understand how we generate profit within a business. And this little model, I think, shows it best. Okay. So we need to generate leads within business. Okay. We need to be able to generate, how many leads actually come in. We need to then convert those leads into sales. So lead generation really is marketing. So when we're actually going out there and making that initial contact, that is more marketing than it is sales. So if we send out a load of emails, that's marketing. If we put items on social media, that's marketing. Okay, so where we don't know, there isn't an intent to buy at this stage, then that is a marketing skill. So the first thing to understand is sales and marketing are different disciplines. They're part of the same process, but there's different skill sets and different requirements in both of them. And I cover more of the lead generation side in the marketing workshop, which will be happening in a month or so's time. Okay. So sales really is that conversion. It's this bit here. Okay. It's this conversion of these leads into customers. It doesn't sort of stop there, because once we've got a customer, we want that customer to come back again and again and again. So how we sell to a new person is different to how we sell to an existing person. We already have a relationship with those people. And then every time they come back, we want them to spend a little bit more money. So we want to upsell to them, cross-sell to them. So this is more account management, customer service. I deal with that in another workshop. Okay. So retention of clients and making sure they come back and spend more is one skill set. Marketing, bringing leads in, is another skill set. We're today focused purely in this area here, this conversion rate. But also, if you come down here, margins, actually delivering, as Sam Rogers said, delivering a great quality product and service, that's the operational side of the business. So we still need to be able to do that here. And all of these working together, then we have a successful business. If we're really good at sales, but we can't deliver, then we're not a great business. If we've got great delivery, but we're not servicing enough clients, then we haven't got a great business. All of these have to work together, in unison, but they are different skill sets that we need to build on, layer upon layer upon layer. So if we look at trying to be successful, and if we want to be successful at anything in life, from sales to sport, into football to tennis, into just life itself, we want to be successful at anything. My little formula for life success needs to stack up. Okay. So this formula is, what do I want to have? My dreams and my goals. Who do I need to be? My attitude, knowledge, and skills. And what do I need to do? My plan and my action. Okay. So if I want to be successful at something, all three have to be present, but one of these three is more important than the other two. So Becky, what would you say is the most important out of those three?
Dreams and goals.
Dreams and goals. Okay, good. Yeah. So what about Fiona?
Have a dream.
You've got to have a dream. Fiona, would you agree, or would you go for one of the other two?
I think it's important to have dreams and goals, but and maybe you need those first before you start planning and to get to them. So
yeah. Okay, so you're with Becky and Fiona together. What about Sam Rogers?
I'd say do. You've got to take action, because it's all right having dreams and goals, but if you're not taking action, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, cool. So somebody likes to just get on, jump in at the deep end and start paddling. So she's good. Yeah, Sam?
I actually saw us earlier. But yeah, so I'm kind of cheating. But yeah, I think they're all important. But I think the dreams and goals are
the
most
dreams and
important.
goals. The dreams. That's really good. I don't think I've ever had 3 people agree that it's dreams and goals. So congratulations to you lot. So what I find is the B people, want to know more. They want to learn more skills, but they don't actually go and do stuff. They're sort of the theoretical people. They're people that will always give you an answer as to why you should do something, but they've never done it themselves. The doers, as Sam said, you've got to get off your backside. You've got to do stuff, but what can happen with that is you become a busy fool. So you end up doing more and more stuff, running faster and faster, but you're actually heading in completely the wrong direction. So to be successful, the clarity of what success looks like is the most important. Okay, if you don't know what success looks like, then it's very difficult to play the game well. So if we relate that back into sales, you've got to know what your sales goal is. So as a salesperson, the first thing you need to know is, what is my sales goal? What does success look like? Otherwise, all you're going to be is a busy fool. You're going to be taking calls, you're going to be phoning people up, you're going to be going through the motions, but you've got no idea whether you're doing well or you're doing badly. Okay. So now for you guys, because you're all working in the organizations, you're not necessarily the one that sets the goal. Yeah. So what you need to do is sit with the business owner, your boss, and actually say, right, what is the goal of the company? Okay, what are we actually trying to achieve here? And there should be a sales and a profit target for the business. Okay, so the first thing you really need to understand is, what is the sales and profit target of the business? What is the budget for the next 12 months? And if we can break that down into the next month, or the quarter, then that really helps us to understand, right, what is my target? Now, for most of you, if you come up with this figure, let's say that you've got a 2.6 million sales figure and a profit of 290,000 and a sales of 3.2 and 380. If you were setting the goal for the following year, what would you think that the goal should be? So Sam Lee, if you were setting the budget for this company, what would you set the goal
as? So based on what it was before, what it's increasing by, because 3.8 million. Just looking at what it was before. Yeah. And then the profit would be 470k.
Okay. So, and that's what most people do, is they take the figure that was last time and then they add a bit. Okay, so you'd say, well, I think that's 3.8 million, because they don't understand how the game of their business is being played. Okay, if we understand how the game is being played and we go back to those 5 ways, then we should start setting far more detailed and intricate goals. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to break down how we actually got to those figures in the first place. So from our sales figures, here's our sales figures of 2.6 and 3.2 million. Yeah, we need to break that down into our 5 ways. So how much of our business comes from our existing clients? How many existing clients have we got that buy from us regularly? How many did we add in the year? Did we lose some? Sometimes they disappear. And how many of those are actually active? So how many bought from us in that 12-month period? Because, certainly, Becky, for you, you've got a database of, thousands of customers, haven't you, over the years?
Yeah.
But how many of those actually bought from you in the last 12 months? Not everybody will buy from you every year. So now for Fiona, pretty much most of your clients that bought last year are going to buy this year, aren't they?
Yeah, we've got very regular clients.
Yeah, so you've got a fewer number of clients, but they are, going to buy from you. From the Sam's case, you're starting virtually from 0 clients, So, hopefully we'll keep the 1 or 2 that we've got. But the idea there is it's all focused on new business. So depending on how our numbers work out dictates the strategies that we will then use, A, to retain them, but what we're looking at here is within the sales is to gain new ones. So once we know our number of active clients, how much do they spend with us each time? So what is our average transaction value? Because, you know, if you've got one client that spends £10, are they as valuable to one client that spends £1,000? You know, would I spend more time on a £1,000 client than I would a £10 client? Yes, because my return on time will be that much better. How often do they buy from us? So our repeat business. So in this case, you know, can we get them to buy more often? Now, what's the easiest way to get somebody to buy from you again if they don't normally buy from you?
Or to follow up after they've been, you know, after they've done the service with you? Like,
after they've just follow up, contact them. You know, contact them again. Say, look, you know, you hopefully you had a good experience of buying from us. Would you like to buy again?
Yeah, that's how I think that's how they get most of their customers here as well, and most of their business. It's they start at a small course and then they do the next one, and they go through like a whole process. Like you might, I don't know, you might do that in sport, like level 1, level 2, things like that. You know, and then they build up and then they spend loads of money at the end.
Exactly. That's what you're, and that really, again, this is down here. This is customer service, you know, and getting more out. And I deal with that probably in the customer mastery workshop. But it's much easier to get an existing client to buy again than it is to get a brand new client to buy from you in the first time.
Yeah.
So, and then we need to know what our gross profit percentages are, what our overheads are, and then our sort of net profit figures. So once we've broken this down, we can then look and say, right, well, if I take those numbers and I look to see what I can improve, so could I actually get another, you know, a new another 200 clients to buy from us? Do I need to cleanse my data and get rid of some old clients, get them off the books? Because I'm phoning them up, I'm sending them emails, I'm sending them letters, and they're never going to buy from me. So I'm just wasting my time and money. So can I get those clients to come back more often? You know, to reactive strategies to increase my active clients. Can I get my average transaction value up to increasing, adding value? You know, upselling, cross-selling to those customers. I get them to come back more often. Yeah, and I work on my profitability to actually to deliver what I sell far more profitably. And if you can see here, look, small improvements on each of these. Yeah, once I then re-add them all up, suddenly now look at my sales target. So Sam was going to look at a 3.8 million sales target, which from his perspective was quite a jump, you know, from 3.2 to 3.8. But now we break it down into its component parts. Suddenly we think, well, actually, you know, we're playing far too small here. You know, we could actually be looking to increase this business by nearly 50%, over 50%. And in the increase in efficiencies in gross profit, suddenly we go from a 380,000 to a 1.5 million pound business. See, this is why we need to understand how the game is played. Because if we don't, then we end up doing what we've always done, and we're not really pushing ourselves. We're not driving ourselves forwards. Okay, so I know you guys, you're not necessarily the business owners here, but we need to communicate with our bosses and say, right, what is the sales target for the company, and therefore what is my part of that? Because any one individual is not going to be able to do all of this. It's too much for one person to do. If we all do a little bit, you know, let's focus here. We'll focus on this new business. So how do we get these 200 new clients to come in? Then that's my goal. 200 clients in over a period of 12 months, you know, is around about 20 per month. You know, that's one a day. So is my activity going to drive my one a day? So if I go back to my be, do, have, yeah, if my goal is one new client every day, yeah, okay, now have I got the skills, knowledge, and attitude to deliver that? And I'm actually doing the activity. If I'm not, I'm never going to achieve the goal. And that's why the goal is so much more important to help us to actually drive forwards on this. Okay.
Okay, so you focus on, you focus on
Yeah.
the main goals, right? Main goals, and then it's strategy. You break it down, and it's strategies, you know, and then you develop strategies to increase. Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So you set your goal. So there's a little thing that we use. It's called OGSM. Just write this down. So OGSM. Okay. So the O stands for objective. So that's the big picture. So what is the objective of the business? Okay. So Sam Lee, what is the objective of Solent Sport and Education?
To gain more schools and provide sport for more schools.
Yeah, I mean the big objective is to be the best and largest provider of sports education to schools in the south. Okay, so therefore we take the objective and then we break it down into a goal. Okay, so are we going to achieve that objective overnight in the next 3 months? No, that's a 3-year strategy to achieve that. So the goal needs to be on a shorter time frame, and we'll come a bit more into that in a minute. But once we've got the goal, then we need to set the strategy. So the O is the objective, the G is the goal, S is the strategy, and then the M is the measurement.
Sorry, so objective is like the 10-year plan or 5-year plan. Yep. The goal is achievable, so like 3 years.
So the goal will be a shorter term. That could be 12 months, 3 months. It could be a month goal. Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. Short term.
But it needs to be a time framed goal. Yeah, a smart goal. Yeah, I'll show you that in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the goal. Then we have the strategies. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So what physically am I actually going to do to achieve the goal? And then the M is the measurement, is how do I measure my success and my progress towards the goal.
Yeah. Is there sort of a little acronym thing for how you measure success?
Let me go through this, and if I haven't answered your question by the end of this, then bring that one. KPIs. Excellent. Good. Yeah. So the numbers you need, is how much existing business are we doing? What is the new business units? An average transaction value, the number of leads we're generating. What is our conversion rate? If sales is conversion, what is the conversion rate? So how many leads do I get compared to how many sales do I get? That is a key number if you're a salesperson. Then we have what I call leading and lagging key performance indicators. So a lagging key performance indicator is what I get as a result of what I do. So profit of a business is the ultimate lagging key performance indicator. Yeah, I don't know the profit of my business until the end of the year.
Okay, so that's why it's lagging.
That's why it's lagging, because it comes later.
Right, because you can't really measure the results straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Implement it and then wait. Yeah. Okay.
So if I said profit is a lagging key performance indicator, what would the first leading key performance indicator before? What have I got to do before I get a profit? Sale. Okay, so sales is a leading key performance indicator. Profit is a lagging key performance indicator. But then, actually, if we think about it, sales is actually a lagging key performance indicator, isn't it? Because what comes before sales?
Oh, like marketing or approaching them. Yeah.
Yeah, leads times conversion rate. Okay, so if I take my conversion rate, as my lagging, so that now is a leading key performance indicator for sales, but it's also a lagging performance indicator compared to activity. So how many times do I pick up the phone? How many schools do I actually go and see? How many meetings do I book? How many proposals do I send out? How many quotes do I send out? Okay, so everything has, is a lagging K performance indicator. Will have a leading, and every leading becomes a lagging if you move up the process until you get to the top of the tree, which is the physical activity of what you do on a day-to-day basis. So how many calls do I make? How many letters do I send? How many emails do I send? How many social media posts do I do? Things that you have ultimate control over, and are only done if you actually go and do it. Okay, so we've got to start knowing, if we want to improve, we've got to start knowing our numbers, and we've got to learn to love our numbers. You can't play any game out there without knowing how to score it. Okay, so if you don't know how to score tennis, you can't play tennis. If you don't know how to score cricket, you can't play cricket. You can swing a bat, you can look busy, you may be very good at it, but you can't actually play the game. So in sales, if you don't know what your scoring mechanism is, then you can't play the game of sales. You can go through the motions, and say, look busy, but you're not really playing the game. You're just participating. You're turning up, running around the field, looking busy, and then you go home at night. But if you want to be great at sales, then you've got to know what your numbers are. Then once you know what your numbers are, then you set your SMART goals. So hopefully you've all heard this acronym before: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, within a time frame. Okay, you know when a goal is a goal when you can hang your coat on it, is what I say. Okay, so if I said to you, I want more sales, is that SMART?
No.
No, there's not. It's not like there's not a number on it.
Okay, so how would I make it smarter then? How would I smartify that goal?
Give it
By
a
saying,
time.
a certain amount, and then within a time,
Great. So if I said I need £1,000 of sales within the next 7 days. Yeah.
You've got to got to see if it's
as long as
achievable.
that's realistic. I don't know. It depends on the business.
Yeah. So as long as it's realistic. I mean, that may be realistic. It might be unrealistic.
Yeah.
Okay. But what happens if I set the goal of £1,000 and it was a bit of a rubbish goal? It was a bit of a low goal. Would it inspire me? And would I get emotional about achieving it?
No.
No.
If it's not much, it's not inspiring.
Likewise, if I set a goal of £1 million, which was way too big and I could never achieve that, so what's the point even trying? Would that inspire me and emotionally make me want to do it? No. So it's finding the sort of the Goldilocks point. Okay, that it's just about right. It's not too far away where it scares me and I'm not going to bother trying, but it's not too easy where I can actually go and do it without even worrying. And that's, again, if we akin this to sport, we've got, I mean, Sam's are you a tennis player as well, or?
No.
What sport do you like, Sam?
No, I'm not.
Are you what?
Football and running.
Football and running. Okay, so we'll take the football analogy. Okay, so if what's your favourite team?
Southampton.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of a decent team then. So let's take Southampton. Okay, so if Southampton, when they get promoted, okay, they're playing in Div 1, are they inspired to do well?
Yes.
Yeah. If they went and played Eastleigh Football Club, would they be inspired to play well?
Not so much.
Not so much, would they?
No.
Okay, so setting our level of expectation and aspiration needs to be 1 or 2 levels above our level of current competence. So if we go in as salespeople and set a goal that I know I don't have to do much and I can achieve it, then you're not going to be inspired and emotionally tied to it. Therefore, you'll actually give less of your effort than you would if you went and said, right, I'm going to do something I've never achieved before. What is the record for sales in this company? Yeah, if there isn't one, right, I'm going to set the record. I don't know if you're watching the Athletics World Cup at the moment, where they're out to beat their personal best number one. They want to be the best in their country number two. They want a European record number three, and they want a world record number four. And ultimately, you want to win an Olympic gold. See, the beauty in sport, there's always a goal that's just one level above the level that you are. That's why sport is so inspiring. In business, there isn't that score system. We have to create it for ourselves. So even if in our company we don't have it being set for us, then as salespeople, we need to set it for ourselves. What is my personal best? What is my best conversion rate over the last 3 months? Great. So my goal is to beat that. Because if you don't set your own goals, all you're going to do is just turn up, kick a ball around, go home. And where's the fun in that? As you saw with Southampton last season, that's all they did at the end because they knew they're going to get relegated. So what's the point of even trying? Whereas Everton, I don't know if you saw the difference between how Everton played at the end and Southampton. Everton have never been out of the Premier League in their entire history.
Wow.
Would you want to be the first set of players to actually get them relegated? No, they were never going to be relegated. It's the difference. Okay, one or two levels above your level of current competence, that's where you need to be inspired. And while they're called SMART goals, I changed that to SMARTY goals because if you remember the old adverts, Smarties have the answer. So if you can smartify your goals, then you can actually achieve far more than you could ever dream of. So once we've got our clear goals, any questions on goal setting?
I guess. Sorry.
Yeah, go on, Becky.
I guess I'm not really sure. I came in asking what would be my sales targets and things like that, and I didn't really get an answer. And I've only been here for a few days, and I haven't even got something to base it off, yet. And it's so chaotic at the moment. I don't know how many bookings I should be getting. I haven't even had time to process it yet. So would you say, at the end of the week, make it. Stop at the end of the week and look back and see how many bookings you got, and I don't know how would I don't know where to start with the goal really.
I mean, look, I know within sort of your business, we're working very hard on building a system to actually do these calculations for us, but often that takes time to actually build that. When you don't have it, then you can't sit there and make blame excuses and deny it. The way I would do it is I'd have a sheet of paper in front of me, and do you remember the Roman numerals? So to work at the moment. I would just sort of do right. How many calls do I do? And I'd have a line that says calls. So how many times do I pick up the phone? Right, that's one call, and just mark the number of incoming calls. How many emails come in? I'd have another line that said incoming call, incoming emails, and then I have a line that said sales.
And what does sales cover? How many I've sold? How many bookings?
How many bookings you sold? So I had a phone call, I didn't sell. I had a phone call, I made a sale. I had a phone call, I made a sale. I had a phone call, I didn't make a sale. So at the end of the day, you can top that up and go, right, today's personal best was I had this number of calls, this number of emails, and I made this number of sales. And if you wanted to, I'd add in an average transaction value as well. So I therefore sold this amount of money. Now, does it need to be 100% accurate, Becky?
No, I'm going to say no.
No, as long as it's inspiring and emotional, and you go, right, okay, so if it was 60%, is that good or bad?
6% what?
Conversion rate. So if you had 60% of your calls you converted, is that a good or bad figure?
Good.
Is it?
Bad. I don't know. I don't really understand it.
because a figure on its own doesn't mean anything, does it? 60%
Okay.
Compared to what? I don't know. So what happens if next week you did 65%? Is now 65% good or bad compared to 60%?
Good.
Good. Yeah. But it's better. But again, you haven't related it to something that you want to achieve. So if you set your goal as 80%, is 65% good or bad?
Bad.
Bad. Okay. Now, if something's good, what do you generally do in life to change it?
Nothing.
If something's bad, what do you do generally in life to change it?
Cry.
Okay, after you've cried, what do you do?
Something.
Do something.
Have a drink.
So in sales then, what should be more motivational? A good set of numbers or a bad set of numbers?
Bad set of numbers.
Bad,
Definitely.
Bad set of numbers.
Yeah.
So what happens when we have a bad set of numbers? Why do we feel that we need to cry?
Yeah.
So we can do better.
Yeah.
You should be going, yes, I only got 60% today, which is the worst result for the past 3 months. Right, because now I can do something better. But actually, that's a stupid way to think as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you've got good results, what should you be thinking?
How can I do
Want to
better?
do more.
How can I do better?
Yeah.
You know? Great. Well, I've hit 80% for the last 3 weeks, so my target is now 85%.
Yeah.
What if I put the prices up by 5%? You know, if I put the prices up by 10%, could I actually get my conversion rate back to 80%?
Probably not.
Well, that's not a great way of thinking, is it, Sam? Probably not. So if in any, and this is why you've got to see this as a game. In any game, when you play it, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. You come back the next day and you want to be better. That's why you keep playing sport. That's why you keep doing it. Otherwise, why bother? If you've won one tennis match, why bother turning up next week and playing another one? Well, you've won. You've won the gold medal. Why come back and win another gold medal? What's Federer doing? Not Federer. Djokovic doing at the moment. The best thing that's happened to him was losing to Alcaraz at Wimbledon. Because how much joy did he have when he beat him in that final on Sunday?
A lot.
A lot. That's what drives him, Is he doing it for the money?
No.
No. Okay. So this is why we've got to be looking at our beliefs. Yeah. So if we believe, whatever we believe to be true often is true. So if we think we're a rubbish salesperson, then great, guess what you're going to be? Rubbish salesperson. If you believe you're the best salesperson in the world, and your results don't show it, what are you generally going to do as a result?
Be a rubbish salesperson.
Be a rubbish salesperson. So you think you're the best person? Sam, if you think you're a really good tennis player, and you go up, and you get beaten.
Yeah.
What
you work harder to get to be the best player.
Yeah.
Same with the sales, like you'd work hard to make sure you're the best.
Fine, that was just a blip. That was because I didn't do my preparation. He had a good day. He was lucky. The referee was again. You're looked to blame everybody else apart from yourself.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Play the blame game.
which is, and they've done this. You want about the psychology. Very successful people are very good at deflecting failure from themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, when success happens, it was my success. I did that. When it's failure, no, it was other things. Now, what they've proven is that is good as long as you do something about it. If all you ever do is blame everyone else for your failures and don't then go away and work harder. So what they do is externalize it to start with, because then they don't beat themselves up, and then they internalize it to drive them to the next level.
Yeah.
So if we
external, extrinsic, whatever things.
Yeah.
Yeah. don't blame it on internal. I remember that A-level PE.
Yeah, don't blame it on the internal, externalize it, but then take ownership internally.
Yeah.
Because the only person who's going to get you to where you want to go is you. You can't sit there and blame everybody else. But that's what people like John McEnroe did so well. You know, he took his anger out on everybody else, which freed him up. So it's not my fault. Therefore, he could then deal with it and move forwards.
Mm.
So this ability to internal and externalize success and failure is a key part for success. So if you're in sales, you know, you go into a sales meeting, you take a sales call, and you don't make the sale. Yeah. The first thing you need to do is, you know, go, right, well, come up with an excuse, blame, whatever you want, why you didn't get it. As soon as that's passed, you then have to internalize that and go, okay, so the thing I need to do is understand why I didn't make that sale. What did I do wrong? What do I need to be better at in order to convert that person? And this is why we come back to this: are sales skills born or bred? You know, they learn, or are we born with them? So what do you think, Sam? Were you born a salesman, or have you learned to be a salesman?
I think you can definitely learn and improve. Yeah, 100%. I feel like some people might have some more natural traits which help them. I feel like everyone can learn the skills to sell.
Yep, everyone can learn, most definitely. Yeah. Anybody think that you were born a salesperson?
No, I definitely think it depends on if you like it or not. If I was promoting something I didn't like, I liked sailing, so I think I'm good at promoting it. I'm not very good at football, sorry, and I don't really follow it, so I wouldn't be very good at promoting it. You know, I don't know. Is that?
That's perfectly fine.
You
know, because there's no salesman out there that is good at selling something they don't believe in or don't like. No one.
Or don't know about. Maybe if I did more research on football, I'd be able to sell it. I don't know.
Yeah. Or you might say, actually, I've never sold football before. That's a challenge. What if I could sell football? What if I had no interest in football at all, but I could be the best football salesperson out there?
Yeah, the mentality, maybe. Yeah.
And that's the key. The key to yes, does it help if you know and love the product you're saying? Yes, it does. 100% it does. And you've got to have some interest in it, I believe. But do you have to? No. But if you love the game of sales, then all you're interested in is that sparring with the other person in order to be able to sort of sell what you're selling.
Yeah.
See, we are all born natural salespeople. You know, take these kids here. Do you think they would be able to sell a glass of lemonade to you for 50p?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
What's one of the if they really wanted to sell lemonade to you for 50p? Yeah, what's one of the strategies they would use?
This smiling.
Yeah, smiling. That's what I say. Yeah.
Smiling, please.
Mm.
Yeah, would they let you walk past?
No. They make you feel bad if you didn't buy it from them.
Yeah. So, I think maybe someone has just walked past because the girl behind's doing a bit of a finger movement.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what that finger thing is. So look, you know, we are born salespeople. You know, we're born influencers. That is a natural thing that every human being has, the ability to engage with other people. That's why we are the most sort of successful animal on the planet, because we work together, we work in teams, and we have the ability to have what we call emotional intelligence to actually influence and work with other people. So we are born with these skills, but our belief of whether we can sell or we can't sell dictates whether we continue to improve those skills and add to them and learn and work with them, or we just stagnate and actually reverse it, and we basically don't do any of that, and we think that we can't do it. So the old adage, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're probably right. So when I started, my coaching business, I went to I bought the franchise. I went to them. I said, look, I really want to be a coach. I love the coaching idea. I want to deliver the service, but the salesy thing, I'm not really good at. I've never sold. I don't really want to do sales. And they said, that's fine. You'll be out of business within 12 months. Okay, you're going to have to learn to love to sell. And now I love it, because I don't see selling as selling in the traditional way. And I'll come back to that in a minute. So we're looking at this then and saying, right, we want to learn something and we want to learn to be better salespeople. There are 4 stages that we need to go through. The first stage of learning is unconscious incompetence. Okay, you don't know what you don't know. Blissfully unaware. Okay, so this little kid down here, does he know he can't drive a proper car?
No, he doesn't know.
No, doesn't know. He just believes that, actually, if you want to get somewhere, mummy or daddy drives you around.
Sorry.
Okay. So when we grow up and we're around more people, and then we become consciously incompetent. Okay, so we become conscious that we can't actually do something. Now, once you're consciously incompetent, can you go back to being unconsciously incompetent?
No.
No.
I know, yeah.
No, you can't unlearn something. Unless you have a serious head injury, you can't unlearn something. So once you've become consciously incompetent, right, I now know I can't do this. So before you got into sales, Sam, did you know that you couldn't do sales?
No.
No, it wasn't on your radar, was it? It's like, didn't even exist. It wasn't something you even gave it any thought to. Blissfully unaware, in denial, but say unaware. Then you start thinking, right, now I've got to sell some stuff. Oh, geez, perhaps I'm not very good at this. So now you're consciously incompetent and you can't go back. The only way you can go back, is through blame, excuses, and denial. We call that being below the line. So blame, excuses, and denial. So you blame other people. The reason I can't do this is this. You make excuses. Okay, well, I'll get around to that one day. Or deny it. I never wanted to be a great salesperson anyway. So if you stay in this box for too long, how do you begin to feel?
Not very good.
Yeah,
Not very good. Yeah, it's pretty, excuse my French, but pretty shit. Okay, I can't go back here. So basically what people hear is they have to leave. They have to sort of give up and go and do something else. I'm no good at sales. Therefore, sales is for idiots. No one wants to do into sales. I'll go and sweep a road. Okay, and you see that in sport. Sport's a great one. I'm not particularly good at this. I can't be bothered to try. Therefore, I'll go and do something else. What does it take for us to get from consciously incompetent to consciously competent? So now we can do it, but it takes a bit of effort. We've got to try. We've got to be prepared to fail.
Improve your skills. Learn more.
Learn.
Yeah.
Is this easy? This transition from this box to this box?
No, it's not easy.
No.
Yeah. Are you going to make a few mistakes?
Yeah.
If you can remember when you got to that point where you wanted to drive, and then you started taking driving lessons, how many near misses did you have when you were learning to drive?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Luckily, my instructor could brake me.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got somebody sitting alongside you, helping you. working through. Same in sales. Okay, to get from here to here takes time, it takes effort, it takes learning, it takes practice, it takes the ability. Look, I tried something different and I messed it up. Great, move on, learn from it, do it again. Oh, I got rejected. I did a sales meeting and they didn't buy from it. Oh, my life is terrible. Oh, great, there'll be another one tomorrow. What happens if we stay in this box, this conscious, competent box? We stay here too long.
Do we get complacent?
I wouldn't say we get complacent at this stage. This is imagine you're still after 5 years taking lessons with your parents or your driving instructor.
You just don't need to.
Yeah. So basically, you end up drifting back here into consciously incompetent. I'll never drive. Okay, so again, you have to move away from this, and you have to go and live with somebody that drives for you. I just chose to take a taxi. I'm not driving because I'm saving the planet. Come up with lots of excuses as to why you're not doing what you said you're going to do. So ultimately, we want to get into this box here, unconsciously competent. So now I can do it without even thinking. Imagine you driving a car now compared to you driving a car when you were going through this process. It's completely different, isn't it? It's inbuilt within you. But the problem is when you get to unconsciously incompetent, what happens at that box? So I can now do sales. I've been doing sales. I've been doing it all my life. I'm pretty good at sales. Everything's fine.
Is that the sort of reaching the plateau kind of thing, like where you need to do something differently or learn something else to?
Yeah, because where are you really if you're here? Not actually here, are you? You're here.
Yeah, and learning a new skill.
You're unconsciously incompetent of playing it at the next level.
Okay. So you need to find something else to go for.
Yeah, because the fun in life is the journey. This is the fun in life, the moving around between these boxes. If you get stuck in any one box for any period of time, it's dull. There's no fun in life being in any of these boxes. Consciously competent, unconsciously competent. Yeah. The only one really is really fun is this one here, as long as you've got something else to do. But the reason we play games, the reason, is anyone into computer games?
A bit, yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you start a computer game, is the first level generally quite easy?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've completed level 50, how easy is level 2?
Easy.
Do it with your eyes closed, can't you?
Yeah. Because level 50 is going to be way harder.
Yeah. So if you stay playing that computer game at level 2,
you're bored.
Every time you came back, you'd be bored. So the same in sales, if you get to a point where you're unconsciously competent at sales and you start to find it a bit dull, it's because you haven't progressed. You haven't moved on to the next level because you're unconsciously incompetent where the next level is. So we've always got to be looking of how we improve, and that's where we get the enjoyment, within life, within sport, within games, within business. So we've got to be looking at this. If we want to become a master of anything, 10,000 hours. The studies have shown this. 10,000 hours. So if you want to do it, if you want to be a great salesperson, you need to be putting in 5 to 6 hours a day practice, on being better at sales. Okay, otherwise you're just going to be at the same level now in 10 years' time, getting the same results as you are now. So it's a continual improvement that we're doing, and we've got to be testing ourselves at different levels, trying different things, continually improving. So never stop learning. You know, there's thousands and thousands of books on sales. These are probably, I think I've read every single one of those that's on there. You know,
Which one's your favourite?
I tend to listen to books if you can stand it. Zig Ziglar's brilliant. He's just so Zig Ziglar, Secrets of Closing the Sale. He's got a very, very strange American accent, and some people just can't stand him. But you know, he's done loads and loads of books. Better if you like audio, the book is probably Brian Tracy. He's got a nice style. But you know, a lot of them will stay the same thing. Package, you know, it's taking the golden nuggets out of these books and then applying it. Even if you go, oh, that's not me, that's great, because you've learned, okay, I don't want to sell like that, so find a way that works for you. So if you ever want a book, you know, I know Josh has got some, Charlie's, you know, got a few on the shelf, but if you ever want a recommendation, then just let me know and I'll point you in the direction I think is probably going to give you the best one. So there's a good one that I'm going to come on to in a minute, which I would definitely say on the list. So the next thing you've got to think about is what type of salesperson are you? Now, we do a system called DISC profiling, which is a behavioral profile. If you've done the time mastery and the team mastery, I go into a bit more detail within those. But in a sales point, generally 4 types of salespeople that people fall into. Okay, and it's based around the DISC profile. We've got our task focused outgoing people who are dominant drivers. We've got outgoing people who are more influencers. We've got supporters, stable, steady people, and we've got cautious, calculating, task focused, reserved people. Okay, so another way to think about it, it's got powerful people, popular people, peaceful people, and perfect people. Okay, so just have a think about that. Put yourself in one of those boxes. Now, you won't be just in one. You'll have a little bit of everything, you know, going on. But if you were to put yourself in one of those boxes, which one would you put yourself in? Okay, so just don't tell me at the moment. Just put yourself in a particular box. So So D is dominant driver. So that's an outgoing, task-focused person. Dominant driver. I is inspiring and influencing. So outgoing, but more of a people person.
Okay.
S is stable, steady, supporter. So more of a team player. I'm there to support the people around me. And C is cautious, calculating, compliant, correct.
Thanks.
Okay, so if you all put yourself in a box.
Is it just one box, or can you spread yourself over?
You can spread yourself. Yeah, I mean, you will be, but just for now, put yourself in. You have to be in one. Put yourself in one. If you're on the board, it doesn't matter which one you choose. Just choose one. Okay. So 4 types of salespeople. So I want you to say which one of those 4 profiles is this person most likely to be in. So we've got an order taker. Okay, sits there waiting for somebody to ask if they can buy. So we'll do one each. Becky, what do you think? Which profile do you think the order taker is?
Stable, steady. So I don't
stable, steady. Okay, so order taker put as the S. Yeah, this gets easier because there's less to choose from. So, second one is the product bore. Okay, so somebody that talks nothing else but the product. Yeah, every single detail of the product, all the logical answers as to why the product is great. So Sam R. Let's go red. So Sam R, which one of those?
That'll be the sort of the calculated one.
Yep, the calculated one. Okay, so we'll put that one in the C box. So the overseller. So promises the world just to get the sale. So Fiona?
That's probably the driver, I think.
Could be the driver. Yeah. Do you want the driver? It wasn't the driver.
Well, I
which
don't
one would it be?
Well, it'd either be the inspiring or driver. It's like up the top. Yeah. It's sort of
it's
definitely
up the top, isn't it? Yeah. So promises the world. I'll show you. If you see the next one, pushy seller eats you into the.
Okay, that would be the driver then.
Yeah.
That's the driver. Okay. So you can see from a negative point of view, when people say, I've had a bad sales experience, it's generally because one of these types has chosen to sell in their style. Okay. But if you think about it, if I was a high C person, so any of you a high C person? Did you put yourself in the bottom left-hand box?
No.
Okay, but imagine you were a high C person, a very cautious, calculating, compliant, correct type of person, and the salesperson that came to sell to you gave you all the facts about the product. Would you be happy with that person selling to you?
Yeah,
because they're speaking my language. Actually, I want to know all the facts, and if there's more facts, give me more facts. If I was a high I, who's inspiring, and emotional and people focused, and I had that person, would I see them as a product bought? All he did was drone on about the bloody product. Okay, so bad salesmanship isn't about a bad salesperson. It's about their style doesn't fit with the person that's looking to buy. Okay, so if I'm a high D, let's say I'm a high D individual, I need to get things done, determined, driving, boom, I really want to get things done, and I walk into a shop, and nobody comes up to me and says, how can I help you? They're all sort of waiting to be, to be contacted. How do I feel? Do I feel like I'm having a great sales experience?
No.
It's like, why doesn't anybody come up? I'm ready to buy, because D's make their decisions pretty quickly. I'm ready to buy right now, and nobody's come up to take my money. So sod this, I'm going off to another shop. Okay. Now imagine I'm a high S person, and I go into the same shop that's full of high D salespeople. What are they going to do?
Come up to you as soon as you get in the door.
Come up to me, drag me, bully me. Right, you're ready to sell. You're ready to sell. You're going to buy. Buy this, buy this, buy this. There you go. Okay, if I'm a high C person and I go to a high I salesperson, who's going to inspire me and say this product is wonderful and it's going to, it's going to be the best thing I've ever bought and my family are going to love it. But they don't give me any details, any facts as to how it's going to work. How am I going to feel about that sale?
I don't know. The products won't benefit you.
You want those facts.
Yeah.
Exactly. I need the facts. So, I need to think about it. So there isn't perfect type of salesperson. The perfect type of salesperson really is a problem solver who understands the person they're talking to. So am I dealing with a high D that wants to get to the nub of the problem, get it dealt with and move on? Is it a high I who wants to sort of chat about the weather and the family and everything that's going on in their life and the sale? If I like you, I'll buy from you. Is it an S who's going to be at a slower pace and is going to need a bit more of a comfort to know what they're buying is the right thing? Or is it the C who's going to need to know the detail? Is this the right thing for me? Is it factually correct? Is it more of a logical decision or emotional decision? And the best salespeople out there are either the person that is one size fits all, but all they ever get is that type of sale. So if I'm a high D salesperson, all I deal with is high D people, great. I could probably sell to the cows come home. But for most of us, we're going to have a mixture of people that we're dealing with, and therefore our skill set is about understanding other people's profiles and knowing, right, I've got a high C, I've got somebody that needs detail, great, I'll be detailed with them. I've got somebody that needs a bit more chatty, and I need to chat with them, a bit more supportive, a bit more direct. So one of the key things is for you to know who you are and understand yourself, and then to start working out what we're going to find. When we're doing B2B sales, so this is probably more for Fiona and the Sams, what we do find is industries can attract a certain type of person. Okay, so we know, generally speaking, the type of industry is going to have a certain type of person in it. So if I said to you, which of those 4 profiles were predominantly going to be in the teaching world, in schools and education?
Not sure. Thinking.
So what profile were you, Sam? Which box did you put yourself in?
Yeah, I think I originally put myself in either I or S, but then now I'm thinking I'm more a C. Like
Okay.
when you're explaining it more, but like I'm changing as you're saying it. Because I'm someone I would like to know all the facts about something before I was going to buy it.
Yeah. So if you become a teacher, what profile are you generally going to be?
A C.
So yes, you can't just be a C, because if you don't like people, don't go into teaching.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. People. That's why I also put myself in S, because because of people. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But if you haven't got C, then you're not going to be prepared to do the logical, intellectual work. So you're going to need to be so most people in teaching are going to be CSs. Yeah. Now you might find the head of a school is more likely to be what profile?
A D or I.
A D or I, because they need to be a bit more decisive, a bit more outgoing. So on one hand, I might be selling to a CS type, PE teacher. On the other hand, I might have a high D headmaster. Okay, so understanding this, we need to sort of be thinking about it. Now, Becky, when you've got incoming calls and they're on the phone, you've got a split second to make those decisions.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, because I have to sort of choose, see if they sound like today I had was a really posh person that didn't really have time for me, and I had to sort of I had to come across as I've got all the information for you, sir, I know all this, but then someone that and a different approach to when someone phones up and is really friendly and just wants to have a chat about the course. And so you do, I guess, you do make decisions about what approach.
So while I've shown you this, naturally you could see this, you could see yourself in it, and you'll see other people in it, and subconsciously you will adapt to it. But again, what we're trying to do here is get you better, because the danger is always, you will sell predominantly in your style, because that's your natural style. So if you're an S, you will generally sell better to S people. If you're a C, you'll generally sell better to C people. But where you've got multiple people, you have to learn to adapt, and become this sort of problem solver for whatever person that's actually coming across. And you get it wrong. Sometimes you think I'm dealing with a high D and they're not, they're a C. Sometimes you think you've got an S, but actually you've got an I. But the more you do it, the more you're aware of it, the better you become at it. Okay. Any questions on reading people?
I think it's much easier in person to read people. A lot of the time I'm speaking to people on the phone, so you can't really always tell exactly what they're thinking.
No, No,
Or,
you can't. But you can. I mean, you will pick up clues, as Becky said, in how they answer the phone. You know, if they're short, abrupt, you know, are they going to be more likely to be I's and S's or C's and D's?
yeah,
You know, if they keep on talking, they're probably more likely to be I's. You know,
yeah,
so you can get, and even how they write an email. You know, how long are high D's emails?
they're probably sort of more kind of short and to the point, but
Yep.
yeah,
Short to the point. Yeah. Are they bothered about please and thank yous and niceties?
Probably just slightly pleasant at the end. But,
if you're lucky.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If a C's got a problem, how long will their email be?
Long.
Yeah.
Long.
Detail.
Yeah. If S's have got a problem, what will they start with?
Or like a nice, sorry to bother you, like a nice way
apology.
of starting it.
Yeah. I'm really sorry, but you know, an S
Yeah.
will start with an apology. You know, and I won't send you an email, and I'll phone you up.
Yeah.
Okay. So even from emails, you get a feel for what this, you know, for what this is. And it can really help in that, you know, if we're looking for that 10% improvement, these skills can really help you sort of make that transition. So, okay. So what do we need to do then? So that's about your beliefs, about who you are, working on your own internal side of it. Now we've got the external of what do we actually do. So first thing, because we're all busy in what we do and we're not always just doing sales, we've got to really look at our default diary. Okay, so this is it's a bit like a classroom diary. It's setting out a typical week and making sure we've got time to do sales. Now, if we are just 100% sales, then this would say sales all the way through. As I said, you know, there are different aspects to sales, you know, so that maybe there's a time that I just do my email responses. So put the phone to somebody else so I can just focus on responses. Because often when we're reactive, you know, the phone's always going and we start, stop, and we're not efficient. So if we could just say, right, at the start of the day, you know, somebody else takes the calls or they go to answer phone or we bring in a third party just to do the calls while we're busy, then we can just focus on getting things done. If we've got multiple jobs, I know, you know, Sam Lee, you're going to have a dual role. So you need to be saying, right, on a Monday, that's the best time to get hold of head teachers. So I'm going to be on the phones. Yeah. Nothing really happens Tuesday. So I'm going to do my sort of, you know, more active in the business side of it. And I'm going to line up all my meetings on a Thursday. So I'm going to do my target is to do 5 meetings on a Thursday. Okay. So we start to get that structure, you know, and it's a bit like, you know, if you were training for the Olympics, or if you're training for a marathon, you know, you'd have to put a training structure in place in order for you to be fit enough before you came to run the marathon. This is all this is. You know, it's getting your fitness diary, your mental fitness, and your capacity to actually be able to deliver that goal that you set yourself. If you didn't set a goal, then there's no point in doing this, because just doing what you did last time is okay. So once we've got our time, then we've got to start looking at the prospects. Now, don't forget, sales here, we're looking at inbound sales. Okay, we've the marketing's worked and we've got a lead. So I know Sam's, you're going to be doing some marketing side. Assume this is when you actually get hold of somebody. So they've shown an interest in what you're selling. So once they've shown an interest, you're going to have around about 5 to 10% who are ready to buy right now. Okay, it will depend on the industry and what you're selling. Imagine it's 5 to 10%. 5 to 10% will never buy from you. Okay, no, they've already got their supply, they've already got their relationships, or they're just so ingrained with what they're doing, they're never going to spend any money with you. And then you've got around about 40% who are positively on the fence. Yeah, I've got some interest, but I've got a few questions. And then you've got another 40% that it's probably not the right time. I'm not quite interested at this moment in time. So we've got to assess pretty quickly, yeah, where the person we're talking to is on here. Because if they're never going to buy from us, what do we need to do with these people as quickly as possible?
And
Get rid of them.
End. Don't waste a breath, a moment of your time on those people. Now, if you've got a high I person, so who loves to talk, who's down here, they're just going to waste your time. If I've got somebody over here who's ready to buy, I don't act quickly, what's going to happen to that person?
they'll buy from someone else.
They'll buy from somebody else. So you've got to get onto these people and close them and get them done ASAP. They are number one priority. Okay. How long is it going to take you to get these people across the line ready to buy?
Oh, they're not very interested.
Quite some time, isn't it?
Longer, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if we do deal with these and then focus on these people, and again ignore these people, then our conversion rate is going to be pretty rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what we want to do is get rid of those as quickly as possible, sign these up people as quickly as possible, and then focus on these people to get them across here. These people we can nurture, we can send them an email, we can put it into our CRM system and contact them in 3 months or so. Okay, we could drip feed them information. Have a look at this website, have a look at this video, do something and I'll chase you up in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. There's no point in pestering these people because they need to go as fast as they need to go. These people are the ones that we work on to get across the line. So the first thing you've got to understand is with your database of prospects, where do they sit? Because when I look at sales teams, often I see too many people spending too much time down here. Because the other thing, what is the biggest fear of a salesperson?
Not making the sale.
Not making the sale.
Yeah.
Failure. So if I don't make the sale, then I fail. Nobody likes to fail, do they? Hands up if you like to fail. Okay. So what's a surefire way of never failing in sales?
Sell to people who will buy.
Sell to people who buy. I mean, if you could only sell to people who would buy, yeah, that would be fun. But life isn't like that.
Well, it's just focus on the people that are going to buy and send out things that are low energy to you that will get the other people interested.
Yeah, but even if those people here that might be interested, as are ready to buy, you may not be able to convert all of them.
No.
Okay, so if you knew that there's that one that you needed to follow up, but they might say no.
Yeah.
What's the one way you can guarantee never to have failed in that sale?
Won't do it.
Well,
don't ask for the sale.
Yeah.
What?
Like, just keep sending them marketing, so you'd be putting them in the not yet interested, but always trying to convert them to the ready to buy.
Yeah. You haven't asked for the sale. You haven't actually got to a point where they've rejected you.
No.
It's like going back to when you were at school and there was a boy, girl that you fancied. If you never asked them out, they could never tell you that they didn't want to go out with you. So you never lost. Where somebody like Sam just went up to everybody and just asked them and didn't care.
Of course.
Okay, so we've got to understand where our prospects are within our buying cycle, and the likelihood, and get rid of the ones that aren't, nurture the ones that are not quite there yet, and focus on the ones that we have a chance of converting. Okay, so I said about a book that I would recommend you read. I would recommend you read this book. Okay, it's not an easy book. It's quite detailed. It's very small writing, but of all the books I've read about sales, for me, this is the one that nails it the best. It's the simplest understanding of how somebody goes through and makes a buying decision. So sell it today, sell it now, by a guy called Tom Hopkins. So he breaks it down into, he calls it the 100% sales process. If you get this sales process right, you can improve your conversion rate to 100%. Now, I don't quite believe in 100% conversion rate. So I think if you get 100% conversion rate, you're too cheap. You should have somebody leaving you because they can't afford it, because you'll actually get more value out. Your conversion rate will go down, but your actual value of sales will go up. But for intents and purposes, we're trying to maximize our sales, our conversion rate. So it's based on these 4 key steps in the process. No one is going to buy from you unless they trust you. Okay. Once you've got the trust, then you can go down into what we call need identification. So we can actually start asking questions that actually identify what they need to actually what they're looking for. Once we know what they need, we then help them with our solution, what we actually sell, and then we push for a close. And he looks at it in a way of lowering sales resistance, which is the trust and the need, and building sales acceptance, which is the help and the hurry. Okay, so he looks at these sort of 5 areas in each. I'm not going to go into detail on these because the book does that far better than I could. But we're basically building this trust level first. If we don't trust that person, then they're not going to buy from us. So trust is about empathy. Okay, how do we build trust with somebody? Now, if I take a telephone, because everything that we do, every touch point of contact with a customer is we're working on one of these 4 things. If I've got the phone, if I'm phoning Becky up, okay, so I'm interested in one of Becky's courses, okay, and I'm on the phone, and the phone rings 10 times before Becky picks up the phone. What's my level of trust now with this company?
0.
0. Okay, what am I thinking, in the back of my head when that phone is ringing 10 times?
Is this a scam? Are they real? Are they?
Yeah, it's a scam. They don't actually exist. Yeah, what else?
They don't have the resources.
Yeah.
They're not prioritizing you.
They don't care about me.
Yeah.
And if it's how they treat a brand new customer that's wanting to spend money with them, what are they going to be like when they've actually got my money? Okay, now, is any of this true?
Don't know. No.
Well, I would hope it's not.
No.
But in their reality, is it true?
It might change the way that they're thinking.
To them.
Yeah. So their belief system is, suddenly you're starting off from a lower point of view. Now, switch it around. I've just dialed the number and the phone is picked up before it even rings.
They don't. They have no life.
They have no life. They're desperate.
You're really desperate.
I watched someone on the desk next to me, and he left it a second, and I thought he's doing that on purpose. Like if something is busy, it's got clients.
Yeah. So they've done studies, and the ultimate number of rings for a phone is how many?
3.
4.
2 or 3.
3.
3.
3 to 4 rings. Yeah.
Okay.
Because what that does is imagine you dial a number. Okay, when you dial something, yeah, while it's ringing, what are you thinking?
I don't
Hurry up.
So in those first 3 seconds,
What are you going to say?
what am I going to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to give that person time just to collect their thoughts, ready for when you answer, that you actually then can deal with that.
Okay.
Okay, so 3 rings, ring, 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 pick up the phone. Hello? What am I now thinking as the prospect?
Well, as the client. to
How
your
can I
head.
help you? Or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh. And then I'll go, hello, who is this?
Hello, who's this?
Client.
Yeah. What if there's loads of noise going on in the background?
Distractions.
Okay.
Mm.
Every single point of contact with a customer is building this trust and empathy. So you've got to be thinking, right, is the environment in which I'm answering these calls, is the way I'm answering these calls, is my first line of answering this call. The first, if it's not on the phone, the email that I send back, when I go and visit somebody, the clothes that I wear, how my hair looks, how shiny my shoes are, the car I drive, what I say to the person on reception. Every single thing you do will build or destroy trust, because it does it with you. Every person you come in contact, there's something that happens that will either build trust or destroy trust. So we've got to use it to our advantage. We know this is going to happen. So if we want to build trust quicker with somebody, then we need to build these things up. And that's what that book goes into, how we build commonality with somebody, credibility with somebody. Okay, these are all techniques that we can learn to actually, build that empathy and that trust and that connection with somebody.
Is it, with the need thing, the second thing, sorry, is that like doing something for them? Like, I was listening to this interview stuff when I was going for my interviews, and one of them was like, if they offer you a tea, take it, because then there's, they've done something for you. If you do something for them, there's some sort of, I don't know, there's some sort of mental thing involved there. Like
100%. If somebody offers you a drink, take it, whether you want it or not. Because if I said, to Fiona, would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, I'd love one, thank you.
And
That's
she
really
turned
nice.
around and said, "Oh, I hate tea."
Yeah.
Yeah. What do I suddenly think?
weird person.
Yeah, she's not like me, because I love tea.
Yeah.
So suddenly you've now created a bridge between us. Well, you're a coffee person, and I like coffee people, and I'm a tea person. Well, am I going to buy from somebody that doesn't like me?
No. Always say yes to tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you're allergic to tea or really can't stand tea, what do you say?
Sorry, but I'm allergic.
You could do that, but again, you're setting aside,
Yeah.
So what could you say? What could you say instead?
Yeah. Well, I'd really like some water. Would that be okay? Or something like that? Yeah.
Well, that's a lovely thought. But actually, I'd much prefer a glass of water.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, don't ask for a pint of beer or something that they can't have access to, but say that's a very kind offer. That would be fantastic. But actually, would you mind if I had just a glass of water, because I'm pretty thirsty? That's fine. You haven't disliked my like of tea.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so there's that. But if you're doing it through emails, how do you get that sort of
So let me come to this then. So
sorry.
three tools of communication. So we communicate with three three things. So every part of communication, there's three key things: the words we use, the voice tonality that we use, and then there's our body language. Okay, so if we take communication as a whole, so if I'm sitting in, we're talking face to face in a street, okay, what percentage of our communication between the two of us would you say the words that we use are?
Where are you talking to? Or are you just walking past?
What percentage?
Maybe about 30.
About 30%. Okay. Yeah. And what about our tonality?
I'd say that's another 30.
30. And body language?
40.
I'd say 40.
40. Okay,
Yeah.
so about even overall. You think it was an element of words, voice, and body language. Okay. So when we're coming to trust, and do I trust somebody? Yeah. And do I have empathy and connection with somebody? Words actually only accounts for less than 10%. Tonality is about 40%. Our body language is over 50%.
Wow.
Okay, this is face-to-face communication. So what happens with most people is they get hung up on the words that they're using. Oh, I've got to say the right things.
It doesn't actually matter.
It really doesn't matter what you say, because that's not what is building the trust. I'm not saying that you can say anything, because it will come back and bite you. Yeah. But you can say things that people won't even pick up on. And there's does anybody watch Darren Brown? Has he been to one of his shows and things?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a thing where he reads something out and you think it's perfect and it's great, and he plays it back and it is full of complete rubbish. We our brains process what we want to hear, and it's very good at completing the dots. So even if our words are not right, as long as our tonality is good and we get good inflection in our voice and it's the right pace. If I'm sitting here talking to you like this, I'm going really, really fast about what we're trying to do. Yeah. Suddenly, what are you thinking about me? But if I sit really slow and we say about the words and the voice and the tonality, and you've really got to learn this stuff, what am I now thinking? Same words. Okay. So what we've got to understand is, when we're dealing with people on the phone, what do we lose? What part of communication do we lose?
Body language.
Body language. So what percentage now is our tonality compared to the actual words we use?
Well, 93.
90%. Yeah, it's huge. Now take it to email. Okay, so if we email, what are we missing?
Voice and body language, words.
And this is why so many problems come from sending emails and text messages, because somebody will read into whatever you say in the emotional state that they are in, not in the emotional state that you wrote it in. You could be in a really happy, excellent sort of state. You'll send an email to somebody who's suicidal and they'll be thinking you don't care about it. Okay, so we've got to be looking at ourselves and going, if we want to get better, right, how is my tonality? Is it the right level? Is my pace the right? If I'm dealing with a high D, how should my tonality change? So if I'm dealing with a dominant person, what should my tonality be?
Yeah, they don't want their time wasted.
No,
quick.
Yeah, they want to know that I'm dealing with somebody that's going to solve their problem, because I'm not interested. If you're sitting there going, well, we could do this and we could do this, and well, if you're a bit wishy-washy, you're gone. They're never going to buy from you. Likewise, if you've got a more of a reserved S-type person and your tonality is coming across as a D, you're going to lose them. because they're just going to, they won't tell you. Yeah, they'll just disappear. They just won't answer your call again. They'll just, oh no, they didn't really get on with them. So we've really got to be thinking about, you know, our body language, tonality, to actually to get it right. So then we've got to look at the need identification. So how do I actually get into somebody and find out what the need is? Okay, so let's say we've built up some good trust. So I've got a certain amount of trust with you. Going to do a little sort of role play here. So who wants to be my patient? I'm going to be a doctor. Who wants to be my patient? Sam R. Go on. Sam R. can be the patient. Okay. So I want you to give me a really serious ailment that's not too embarrassing. Okay.
Okay.
So what's wrong with you?
So my stomach's been giving me so much grief. I'm in agony. Doctor. I don't know what's up.
Okay. So you said your stomach.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been referred to me by Fiona. Okay. Who's recommended me because I am the world's best stomach doctor. Got awards all around the world. I am genius when it comes to stomach complaints. Okay, so you're going to come into my surgery, yeah, and you're going to open the door, you're going to walk in, and I'm going to look at you, and I'm going to go, Sam, before you come in, okay, you can see all my credentials on the wall. I can tell exactly what's wrong with your stomach just by looking at you. Take 3 of these pills 3 times a day for the next 3 weeks, and you'll be fine.
Thanks, Doc.
Okay.
What's wrong with me? Yeah, I'd like to know what's wrong with me. Like,
no, but just take 3 of these 3 times a day, and you'll be fine. How do you feel?
Like you've not been very diligent in your work.
Yeah. Are you likely to take the tablets?
Because you said it in such confidence. Maybe.
Maybe you'll go to another doctor.
Yes.
To get a second opinion.
Yes, I think I would.
Okay. So that's what happens when somebody comes in and says, I'd like to buy this, and you go, well, here you go, this is what it is, without going through the need. You go straight from trust to help. Okay, you trust me because you've been recommended to me, you saw my certificates, yeah, but I've gone straight to help and I've missed out need. So now we're going to put the need identification in. So Sam, come sit down. Tell me about your stomach. You don't have to answer the questions. Okay. Yeah. How's that affecting your life? You know, how long's it been going on? You know, might I poke you a few times? You know, does that hurt? Does that hurt? Does that hurt?
Yes.
Right. Look, based on that diagnosis, take 3 of these 3 times a week, 3 times a day for the next 3 weeks, and you'll be fine. Now, how do you feel?
Yeah, a lot better. A lot more confident in taking those tablets. Yeah.
Okay. But I knew the moment you walked in the door what was wrong with you. So did I do the need identification for me, or did I do it for you?
Me.
For you. Okay. And this is where a lot of technical sales goes wrong, is because you're the experts. You know this stuff. Yeah. Oh, yes, you need to be on this course. You need to buy these plants. You need to, you know, get this sports education program. We go straight into the help. We don't spend enough time in the need identification, not for us, but for them. Now, sometimes we do need to know for us. We need to know those questions, but actually, you know, that's only to refine what we're selling them. Yeah. But we have to go through that need identification process. So we need to ask them questions and they give us an answer. We ask them another question, they give us an answer. And we keep doing that, and we dig deeper and deeper into that emotion until they ask us a question. And then our answer is, okay, so you take 3 of these 3 times a week, 3 times a day for the next 3 weeks, and you'll be fine. Don't rush the sales process. If you do this right, yeah, you will convert every time. If you jump this stage, you'll get that, oh, let me think about it. Okay, because it's not because they need more information, it's because you haven't dug into the emotion of the why they want to buy this. What is the consequence of you not doing this? Why do you want the holiday? You know, so why do you want to learn to become a sailor? What change in your life is that going to have? What impact on the school is having this course going to be? How will your kids feel? How will your teachers feel? How would you be recognized, you know, within the school curriculum? What will Ofsted think? Okay, your skill, yeah, is not in selling, it's in asking the questions that they go, you know, doctor, how can you help me? What do I need to do? Okay, you just buy what's on my shelf. And the key to it is that, you know, buying decisions are based on logic, emotion. But every buying decision is about 20% logic, 80% emotion. Every buying decision. Okay, when you buy a car, logically you need a car to get you from A to B, don't you? Emotionally, what does the car need to look like, sound like, perform like? Okay, the only thing this ratio switches, okay, is when we're selling commodity necessity products. So when you buy car insurance, yeah, is that buying decision an emotional one?
No.
More logical.
Logical. And how it's logical, so therefore what do you do? How do you go and buy, yeah, if you were to get a new car insurance, what would you do?
Find the cheapest one.
Yeah.
Find the cheapest one.
Yeah.
So you go to a, you know, so basically they've built these search engines now to allow you to do this, because with car insurance, because you have to have it, it's not optional. Yeah. Therefore, it's a logical decision. Therefore, it's a little emotion. But the interesting thing is, if you look at the compare the market sites, yeah, which one is doing the best?
It's probably the meerkat one,
The
because
meerkat one.
you emotionally relate to
It's
the
the
meerkat.
advert.
Yeah.
Pure on emotion. So they've taken something you normally buy purely on logic and price, and they've turned it into an emotional thing, you know, because you get a bloody fluffy thing. So again, psychology is at play all the time on this. And if you understand it, then you get to play the game better. So we can use it to our advantage. If we can find the emotions to why somebody's buying, then we can overcome that, or we can deal with that emotion, and we can help them to buy from us. If you can't find the emotion, then you're unlikely to get the sale. And that's where the skill in sales is, the ability to ask questions and get down to that emotion level. Do that, say your sales will be great. So once we've identified the need, then we need to hurry them along. We need to get them to the next stage. So speed is of the essence. Follow up, follow up, follow up. You know, get to know as quickly as you can. Okay, I love no's. Yeah, in my business, it's a case of, look, if you don't want to buy from me, that's fine. Just tell me and I'll move on to somebody else. Because what I find the most frustrating is being dragged along by somebody who says, well, I'll think about it, or I'm not quite ready yet. Well, is that because you're not going to buy? There are times where actually it's just not the right time, but a lot of people use that as an excuse, yeah, to kick the can down the road. Fine. If you want some time, I'll put you in my email. We'll keep in touch with email. When you're ready to come back, then come back. Yeah, let me focus on those people that actually do want to buy. But sometimes we need to put a bit of pressure on people. So imagine I've got a pan of water. Okay, and I want to turn that water into steam. So I have to heat that pan up, don't I? I have to heat that to a point where it turns into steam. What is this transition period called? Taking a liquid into before it gets into a vapor. Oh, it's basic physics, guys.
My brain is gone.
What point?
Evaporation.
What point is it?
It's
Boiling.
not.
Boiling point.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the transition of liquid into a gas is the boiling point.
I thought it was. I was trying to think of something like osmosis or something more technical.
You're far too clever for this class, Fiona. So that transition, is this a nice, stable, steady state?
No.
No.
Okay, so when you're taking somebody from a point of one state to another state, so a point where they've not bought from you to one that they have bought from you, are they likely to go through a perturbation? Through a change. We call this perturbation. It's when you feel perturbed, just about to buy that car. Well, can I really afford that car? Okay, I'm now a little bit uneasy with my decision. Sometimes after I've made a decision, we get something called buyer's remorse. So I've paid for it, and oh shit, should I have done that? Now I've got to go and tell the other half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to keep back with the trust and emotion, and then they're really happy with what they've done.
Exactly. Okay, so
Right.
sometimes you've got to keep the pressure on to get them through that and help them overcome that turbulence that they might be finding inside. Okay, certainly the bigger the ticket, the sale, the more likely perturbation will kick in. If I'm buying a Mars bar at 50p, am I really going to be that perturbed? No. If I'm buying a house for £500,000, am I going to be a little bit perturbed I've made the right decision? Yes. Therefore, have something during the post-sale that actually gets them through that perturbation, that they're confident that they've made the right decision. So, Becky, with you, if I've just spent, let's say, £5,000 on some training and a trip away, and I feel a bit perturbed, what could you do post-sale that would actually calm my nerves down?
I don't know. Well, I want to say refund. Go through everything, and then if they're not satisfied, then refund, because you want them to be satisfied.
No, no. This is you. I want to buy this. You've sold me on this amazing trip for £5,000.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm really excited when I talk to you. That's great.
Yeah.
And then I come off the boil because the heat goes. The danger is I settle down to, oh shit, I've just spent £5,000 on a holiday, or a trip on a boat.
Well, I guess we wouldn't just leave it. We send them. We'd send them emails throughout to remind them what they're doing, where they need to be, and things.
Perfect.
Emails, and then follow up just before the time.
Yeah. So if you've got those big ticket, then keep following up. Yeah.
Follow up. Okay.
Send them, congratulations on your trip. Here's your first
For booking
learning.
this.
Here's something to celebrate with. Little things are post sale. If you start getting people that cancel, or drop out once you thought you've done the sale, then bring those things in.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, if what their pleasure of what they've just bought is going to happen a month, 2 months, 3 months later, bring that in now, because by the time they get there, we're going on a cruise in September, which we bought in, I think, about May time. And the cruise company is sending us things. This is what you're going to be doing on your holiday. This is what you can do. This is what you can do. So they're constantly keeping that emotion, excitement going. Whereas if it's, oh geez, I've got to go on holiday now, let's just cancel it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if we look at why people, why sales don't get closed, 48% of salespeople don't follow up. 25% only do two follow-ups. 12%, make it 3. Only 10% make more than 3. If you look at the statistics, 2% are made on the first contact, 3% on the second, 5% on the third, 80% is made on the 5th to 12th contact. So the key here is if they are in that, yes, these are going to buy from us, then making those continual touches to that person is really key. Don't give up too soon. But likewise, don't flog a dead horse. So you've always got to be reviewing your pipeline. Probably less relevant for you, Becky, more for Fiona and Sam's. That review it. Are there ones I need to kick off because I'm wasting my time? Put that time into the ones that are likely to come on board. And then you've got to think, how do I keep this process going? You need to systemize. Systems set us free. It provides consistency. They allow measurability. If we don't have something that's consistent, then we can't have that measurability within there. And that's what we said, when it was a SMART goal, specific and measurable, achievable, realistic. Okay? If we can't measure it, then we can't improve it. We can't train other people. So once we learn it, we want to be able to train other people to do it. And we can't hold ourselves accountable, and we can't replicate it. So whatever we create, certainly for the SAMs, we're building, very early stages of the business. We want to build a sales process that we can then replicate again and again and again. So even if you're not doing it in a year, 2 years time, you need to create something that you can train somebody else to do. And not only works in Southampton, could work in Winchester, could work in Chichester, could work on the Isle of Wight. If we work out what that process is and it's documented and we can measure it, then we've got, the makings of a successful business there. I would always recommend investing in a CRM system, so client relationship management system. There are hundreds and thousands of them. If you haven't got one, then I recommend HubSpot is a good free one to get started. But ultimately, as you grow, you might find something that you need to, get specifically made for you. Okay, but to start with, just buy one that's off the shelf, that is low cost, easy to use, but use it. Okay, because it helps you manage this whole process and keep track of where everybody is. And put things into scripts. So, if you've got emails that you send, make a data bank of emails. Copy and paste is much easier than writing things every time. Make sure there's a script for how we answer the phone. What's the best way to answer the phone? When you answer the phone after how many rings?
3 or 4.
3.
3 or 4. What's the way that we answer? Good morning, first class sailing. Becky speaking. How can I help you today?
Yeah, that's what I get.
Okay, so you might do it, but does everybody else in the organisation do it? If not, then get that consistency.
Some people just say first class sailing, but then and then they'll ask later what your name is. But I say my name first.
Always, if you're in sales, front line, always your name, because it's personal. Then I can't have an emotion about first class sailing. I can have an emotion about Becky.
Yeah.
And if you say the company name first, it means I've got through to the right person. I've registered that. If you just say, hi, Becky speaking, it's too quick after the call and I haven't quite got into the gear. Hi, first class sailing, Becky speaking, how may I help you? Again, it's your first question to them, so you're in control of the conversation. Good. So I've run over a little bit because we were a little bit late starting, but
Sorry.
we're there. So home fun. First thing to do is be thinking about how you're going to measure your 5 ways and set your goals. Okay, so your leads, your conversion, your number of transactions, your average transaction value. Now, you probably won't be able to measure all of those to start with. Focus on one or two. Start with something, measure them, improve them, and then we can build from there. Are there any limiting beliefs that you need to work on? The way that you sort of see sales that we need to change. Think about the disc profiling, what profile you are, the type of people you like to sell to, but how you could manipulate that to sell to different profile people. And then keep an eye out, make a list on your little sheet. How many high C, S's, I's, and D's, are you dealing with? Becomes a good conversation point, certainly where you multiple people. Oh, I was dealing with a high C. God, he went into wanted so much detail, and I had to push him along to make a decision. Okay, it's a good way to depersonalize it, to be able to talk about it and then learn from it, and then work out what is the sale process. What do we do to build trust in our calls, in what we send to people? What do we do to identify the need and help people? And how do we show how we actually help and get what we actually sell over in a way that they can understand? And what is our process for chasing and getting people across the line and getting to know, get to know, get to yes. So it doesn't matter which one, because it just means we can move on to the next person. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground there, guys. As I said, each one of these is slightly different. I've missed out probably about a third of the slides, so jumping around. But I think what I've covered there is probably most relevant to you guys. So do come back to a future one. So to finish up, Sam, number one thing you got out of today, and what are you going to do as a result?
About the body language thing, I found really interesting about how that's like the most important thing when it comes to actually making a sale. So it's not necessarily what you say; it's more about how you say it and the body language you show to them.
Yeah, it's going to be big with you, because you're going to be dealing potentially with some very high-powered people. So they're going to want to see that confidence from you in your body language and your tonality, more so than your presentation and what you say in your presentation. Yeah, cool. Samar?
Yeah, I'd say it's the 4 different types of people, and that it's important to adjust your style to fit them.
Yeah. And what box did you put yourself in?
I reckon I'm in one of the people one, I reckon. So I won't buy from someone if I don't like them, or I think they're
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably the S and a bit of the I. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So those detail orientated people you might need to slow your pace down a little bit and go into a bit of detail. So call on Josh for those ones. Josh can do the high C stuff for the teachers. Fiona?
Yeah, I really like them sort of thinking more about the trust and emotional side of it, and bringing it to the different types of people, and then doing more planning before, so when I've got my sales process in place, that I'd be ready for all different types of people.
Yeah.
But always being at the ready when someone phones, to build the trust, whatever type of person they are.
Yeah.
So
more important for new existing people. You just need to maintain the trust because they've already built that, so you can go more quickly into need and help. But for brand new people, just take your time at the front end, and it pays back at the back end. So.
Yeah.
Becky?
I'll take away, I think, SMART goals, or having the big goal. I've got to find out what that big goal is for the company. Find out what achievable goals I can have for myself, and so how can I measure success a week? So I'll build up, find a base point and see where I can go from there, and implement some strategies to make myself better.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Well, look, it's been great working with you guys, and but after all that's said and done, more often said than ever done. So be prepared to fail. Take this, put it into practice, you know, some of the best times of the objections you get and reasons why you don't get a sale is to come back and talk those through. So, you know, if you've got those, talk them through with, you know, with Josh, with Charlie, you know, with John, and you know, and look at them as learning opportunities. And you know, every success to you, and hopefully I'll see you at another mastery workshop soon. Take care, guys.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
your
Kev.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Goodbye.
Bye.